Hello and welcome to Upstack America's Operations Specialist Training Program. My name is Bob Mweti and I'm the lead senior consultant for Upstack America. And with me today, I have Frank, who is also a senior consultant. And today we are handling the first lesson on the Microsoft Office Excel training. And Frank, please walk us through.
Okay, thank you, Bob. And welcome to our Operations Specialist Training Program. I'll be taking you through this session. And for our lesson today, we're going to have an introduction to the Microsoft Excel spreadsheets. And we're going to actually see in detail what exactly Excel spreadsheets involve. And for our case as we start, we're going to ask ourselves what exactly the Microsoft Excel spreadsheets are. So you might ask yourself, what is Microsoft Excel spreadsheets? A Microsoft Excel spreadsheet is a spreadsheet program that is used to analyze and record numerical data. You might have a case where you're dealing with numbers, and in one way or another, you might be having daily expenses that you need to analyze. You might be you need to budget for your monthly income that you earn. And for you to spend wisely, you'll need to know this income. And we actually see that Microsoft Excel spreadsheets are part of our procure to pay. It's in the procure to pay cycle, and especially in the part of reporting and doing the reconciliation. And we're going to see just how exactly Microsoft Excel fits into uh, all these aspects of data analysis. And so we use spreadsheets program to record and analyze numerical data. And we have a new term there, the spreadsheet. So a spreadsheet is just basically an intersection of columns and rows that form a table, as we're going to see in our setups. We actually have like a spreadsheet open here. So you can actually see the intersections between, these are the columns going downwards. And then going to the sides, these are the rows. So wherever they intersect, we have cells. So the cells are what actually form our Microsoft Excel spreadsheets. So we see that alphabetical letters are actually used. They are assigned to our columns, and numbers are assigned to our rows. And the point where the column and the row will meet, this is what we call a cell. Like in this case, this is cell C9, the column C and the
Frank?
row 9 intersect here.
I think I can just see the slide. I can't see where you're showing the cells and all that.
Or you can't see that?
No.
Okay, let me see. I was supposed to share this as well.
Share the, I think you should share the desktop rather than sharing the application.
Okay, okay. Is it okay now?
Yes.
Okay, sorry for that oversight.
Yeah. So
this is actually our Excel spreadsheet. We've said it's an intersection of columns going downwards and rows going horizontally, and wherever they intersect, we have now the cell. Like in our case, we have column C and row 9. So our cell is now C9. That is how we've said that alphabetical letters are assigned to columns, while numbers are assigned to rows. We can see our row numbers running down till 22 for this spreadsheet. And for each of these, we can have like numerous of them. And we will actually see how to create one and how to work around these spreadsheets. So the point where the column and the row meet, we've said it's called a cell, and the address of the cell is given by the letter representing the column and the number representing the row, as we've seen in our demonstration there of the spreadsheet. So the spreadsheet is formed by an intersection of columns and rows. that form a table. So even as we discuss about Excel spreadsheets, we are actually going to see what is the purpose of Excel spreadsheets, the Microsoft Excel spreadsheets. And we've seen that Microsoft Excel spreadsheets comes in handy when we want to record, analyze, and even store numeric data. And we've said earlier that we deal with numbers in one way or another. We have daily expenses which we pay for, and even for the monthly income that we earn. And for one to spend wisely, then you also need to know your income versus your expenditure. These are some of the analysis you can do using Excel spreadsheets. Another analysis you can do is, let's say, test scores or something that will involve numbers that you need to record, you need to analyze, and even you will need to visualize the data, how it is, using things like charts, which are features that Microsoft Excel spreadsheets offers as an application. So we're going to use there are various versions of Excel spreadsheets, and in our case, we're going to use Microsoft as a spreadsheet software. There are other uh, spreadsheet softwares that you can actually use. There's the Open Office, and even on there's WPS, Officeworks, and all that other spreadsheet software that you can use. For our case, we're going to use Microsoft Excel spreadsheets, and it's part of the Microsoft Office suite that we will use to do our studies. There have been various versions of Excel spreadsheets. The more recent ones have been Excel 2010, there was Excel 2013, there was Excel 2016, and at the moment we have a subscription-based Office suite, which is the Office 365. You can download it and you can get the product key. So for you to use your Office software, you will need to have your product key, and Microsoft Office Excel is just part of the Office suite, which is composed of several applications that are application softwares that users can use to do a specific and user-oriented purpose. So for us, we're going to learn about the Microsoft Excel spreadsheets. The Office suite contains applications including the Access, which is for databases. Then there is the Excel, which we've said it's for data analysis, and there is OneNote, which is for keeping notes and note making. There is Outlook. There is Microsoft Office PowerPoint, which is for making presentations, and you can come up with very nice slides. Then there is also Microsoft Word, which is used to edit text documents, and you can actually type your documents using Microsoft Word. There are several applications in the Microsoft Office suite, but for our case, we will focus on the Microsoft Excel spreadsheet software. And for us to use the Excel software, we'll need to enter our product key, which, as we see, the product key is 25 characters. And when you buy your Excel package from a shop or from a vendor, then your product package will have your product key, which you can enter by simply going to, let me show you. You go to your file menu, then you will go to your account. Then from your account, you can actually choose to enter your product key. You can enter at the product information column. You just click on change your product key and you enter the product key that is in your product package, and you will be able to register and use the various features. And you can also create an account with Microsoft so that you can get more personalized interfaces with your Microsoft software. Then we are going to see once our Microsoft Excel is launched in our computer or in our PC, we're going to actually launch the Excel software, and we're going to go ahead and do our data analysis. And for our case, for this demonstration of launching the Excel, I'm going to just work with Excel 2013. But for our studies, for our analysis, we're going to do Office 365. It's just the same. If you add even just launching it involves the same procedure, uh, using 365 or using Excel 2013 as a software. They all are launched the same way. So for our demonstration, for this lesson, I'm going to tell us how we can launch our Excel. And actually, you can see the Excel icon. It's a green logo with an X, which and there are some columns and some rows of that resemble our cells as we saw them. So that is the Excel icon. You can actually see one here in our slide. So we're going to be working with Windows 10. We're going to launch our Excel application from Windows 10, and we're going to do it. We're going to launch Excel 2013. And we're going to follow the following steps. First of all, we'll go to the Start menu, which is that. And when you click on the Start menu, it will give you the search bar. And at the search bar, which is represented by our tag number 2, you're going to search for Excel. And actually, even before you start typing, all the programs that start with the letter that you're typing in the list will be listed. So you can actually choose your program. Then our application, our Excel 2013 application will come up. And once it comes up, we're going to click on it and it will open. So let's demonstrate this from the system. So we come to, let me just start with a new instance. So we will come to our start button. This is our start button. So from the start button, so from the start button, we're going to type our application. So I'm going to type Excel. So it has brought me Excel 2013. You can press the left arrow key to complete the word as it's suggested on the search bar. Then now I have my Excel 2013 as highlighted there. Then I'll simply click on it and it will open my, so we wait for it to open up. So I have my Excel splash screen. Now it's ready, and you can actually see a list of my recent files that I've used on my computer. Although, so the other way that you can use using Windows 10, you can just simply come here. This is a list of the applications installed on your device, and you can just click either on the and or the hashtag here. You can just click on either, and it will bring you a list of an alphabetical list where you can actually, you just go to the M. So the M, you go to Microsoft Office. So my suite here is Microsoft Office 2013 suite. So I'll click the drop down arrow and it will expand the list. And actually you can see on the list of my applications on the Microsoft Office suite that is on this list of applications, you can actually see Excel 2013. So you can just click on the Excel 2013 and it brings you, you can launch it several ways. You can also use the run option. And for that, I'll leave you to actually go and find out some more ways of how to launch your Excel. But for the two ways that we've seen, it opens up the splash screen. And from my splash screen, you can actually see that the splash screen has various Excel tabs. And you can see the Excel tabs, they have been listed Here there is the info tab, there is the new tab, there is the open tab, the save as, print, share, export, close, account, and options tab. So these are the Excel tabs. So like the info tab, it's used to protect your workbook, and it gives you controls that enables you actually see the type of changes that you can actually make to your workbook. And also it gives you the document properties, the document size, even the title of the document that you've opened. Then the new tab, it allows you to actually open new or blank workbooks or select templates for your spreadsheets. So we're going to see what templates really are. You can actually see uh, the tab selected in this slide is the new tab, and you can actually see the various templates. There is a weekly attendance report, the seasonal photo calendar, monthly company budget, household monthly budget. Then there is the open tab. This one, the open tab allows you to browse and open existing workbooks. So you can actually browse and open workbooks that you have using the open tab. Then the save and the save as tab, we're going to talk about them in detail in our future lesson. For now, we have the save and the save as, and you will actually see when to use the save and when to use the save as tab. Then for the print, it gives you all the print settings as well as the print preview for your document. When you want to print a document, how do you ensure that all your work, all your sheets on your data sheet, on your worksheet, that they are within the print area. The print area is the part of the paper that how the paper will appear when it's printed using a printing mechanism that we will decide to use for our documents. So it will preview to you how the document will actually look like on paper, whether you are going to select to print the worksheet on a portrait view or on a landscape layout. That's all the work that you'll do at the print tab. Then the export tab, it allows you to send data to an external application. So it will allow you to send it in various formats. You can choose to save your files as a TXT or as a document file. It allows you to save in various formats or various file types in that case. Then the account tab, we've actually looked at it, and it contains all your user info as well as the product info, such as the Excel product key, as we've seen. Then the options tab, it allows you to get several, to set general options while also working with the Excel sheets. And we can actually see the templates at the new tab. And the templates are a great way to increase your productivity. And they allow you to actually do a lot of things with your Excel, even if you have a basic understanding of your spreadsheets. Let's say you want to do a weekly attendance report, and you will be running this over and over again. Maybe you run it this month, you will run it again next month, and run it again next year. Then you can actually have like a standard way, a standard document that you can prepare called a template that you can be using every time. You just feed in your data. You don't have to recreate your spreadsheet formatting again. You do not need to recreate everything afresh. You just reuse your template, or you can simply come to the ones that Excel already has for you and just select one that suits the kind of data that you have for your daily use or routine use. So the templates allow you to do some things with Excel, even though you might be having basic knowledge of spreadsheets. So you can use the templates created by Microsoft by simply opening Excel and going to the new to the new tab. Then you can also open new documents by simply clicking our shortcut. We're going to look at shortcuts, but you can do that using Control N. And when you go to your new document, let's see this. New document, you can actually open your workbook, and it opens a new workbook, and this is a worksheet, and you can actually add other worksheets. We're going to see how to do that. And it opens to you a new worksheet on the workbook. And in this case, we're going to look at these features, the features of the Excel workbook. So this is the Excel interface, and the Excel interface, first of all, it has several features. The first one is the quick access toolbar, and the quick access toolbar, it's used to access commands or options that you can actually use to customize Excel. We are going to see how to customize our quick access toolbar. So the quick access toolbar, you can have some of the stuff you use frequently for your quick access toolbar. Like for my case, my quick access toolbar has the save icon. It also has the undo, it has the redo, and it also allows me to set the touch or mouse mode because my PC uh, allows for touch ability. Then the next feature that we have beside the quick access toolbar is the ribbon, and the ribbon actually it has commands and it gives you tabs that you can actually use to access various features of Excel. Like for our ribbons, we have the home tab, we have the insert, we have the page layout, we have the formulas tab, we have the data tab, and for each of those tabs, find you can actually find the various features that are under each tab. Like for the page layout, you can set your margins, you can set your orientation, you can set your size. For the formulas, you can use various function libraries, and you can use the various functions from the formulas tab. These are found in the ribbon. Then for the data, you can get external data, you can sort and filter your work, you can get data tools, and all that kind of analysis. A review tab, the view tab, you can set your workbook views, you can zoom, and these are part of the Microsoft ribbon. Then the next is the name box, and actually the name box contains your cell address. So actually we said that the cell is an intersection of the column and the row. And in our case, in our slide, as shown, our cell is cell A1, and that is displayed in the name box. So you can actually see the name box there. Then we have the formula bar, and the formula bar, it allows you to navigate around the formula box. And you can actually turn it off by going to view. Let's see how we can turn off our formula bar. So our Excel, this is our formula bar up here, and we can actually turn this off. So by clicking on the insert function here, we can actually insert a function, we can search our functions, we will know exactly what functions are in a future lecture. But for now, we can actually turn it off if you do not want the formula bar to appear here. So you simply come to the view tab, then you come to formula bar, and you uncheck the formula bar, and it will actually disappear such that our worksheet, you cannot actually see your name box of the formula bar. But for now, we will leave it. We will allow our formula bar to be viewed. Then our next feature is the workbook tab. So for the workbook tab, we actually see the number of sheets that are in our workbook. Like for our present case, we only have one worksheet. So it's sheet 1. So that will be able to see. So you can actually be able to add or delete your worksheets from the workbook tab. Then the next one is the status bar. And for the status bar, it also has the view tab. The status bar actually tells you like what is the current state of your worksheet, like what is going on with your worksheet. If you start editing your cells, the ready that is displayed on your status bar will turn to edit it. The status bar just tells you that now your worksheet is ready for editing, and if you click in there, it actually now it has now changed. it's showing that we should enter something. And you can actually even edit yourself. So the status bar tells you the current state of your worksheet, whether your worksheet is busy, whether you're saving your document, it will indicate to you that it's saving, the document is saving, whether it's closing or it's opening a new worksheet, it will indicate to you that Excel is loading something or it's trying to save something. And all that we'll be able to see on our status bar. Then sorry for that. Our other feature beside the status bar is the view bar. And for the view bar, we actually be able to zoom. There is the zoom bar on the view bar. And we can actually also be able to see our worksheet views as you can actually see in this where you will be able to zoom. You can be able to zoom your document, the view bar, and you can also change your views, how you want to view your document. Do you want to view it as a uh, the page layout view? Do you want to? Yeah, it simply shows us the views uh, that are available for our data sheets. There is the normal view, there is the page layout view, and the page break view. So we can be able to actually change how we want to view our data in the worksheet. And also you can come to the view tab on the ribbon, and you will see your workbook views. There is the page break preview, there is the page layout, there is the normal. Yeah, so that is those are the features of our Excel interface. Then now to our quick access toolbar, you can actually see uh, it's uh, it's used to access commands that you can actually customize as a user of Excel, and it can be used to access commands such as creating new documents. If you frequently create new documents, you can add them to the quick access toolbar. As the name suggests, it's just a quick access toolbar. You can use it to quickly navigate and also save time and increase your efficiency as you use Excel. So you can use it. If you print documents frequently, you can have your shortcut on your quick access toolbar. If you save existing work frequently, or if you print, or if you can put various options that you need to quickly access on the quick access toolbar. And for you to customize the quick access toolbar, you navigate to this navigation. You go to File, then Options, then Quick Access Toolbar. As we will see, you go to File, then Options,
I think your connection is not good. Let me take a break.
Okay. Yeah, so to customize the quick access toolbar, this is our navigation. You go to File, then Options, then to Quick Access Toolbar. Let's check that out. So going to our Excel. So let me just close this. So we go to File, then Options, then under the tabs, the is the Quick Access Toolbar tab. So you click on it. For my Quick Access Toolbar, these are the buttons that I have. I have the Save. You can see that over here, up here on the upper left-hand side of my screen. So there is the Save button. It's on my Quick Access. And then there's the Undo. You can see that as well here on my Quick Access toolbar. Then the Redo, this one. Then the Touch or Mouse mode option. So these are the buttons that are actually saved for my quick access. So let's say you add a lot of borders to your work, you can actually come to all the commands that are listed down here. They are quite a number. You can do any. Perhaps you want to do save as, or you do a lot of shapes for your documents, or you do use the sum function frequently. Then you can come and select one of these. Let's say we do a lot of pasting from the clipboard. So you just come, select the paste, then you click add. So it goes to the other side. You also want to, maybe you use the pivot table feature a lot. You click on pivot table, then you add, and let's say you want to remove it. You just go back to the quick access toolbar buttons that you've selected. You click on it, then you say remove. Then once you're done, you say okay, and you actually can see that my pivot button is here, and I can actually use my pivot table tab from the quick access toolbar. So that's how we can customize the quick access toolbar. Then now we look at the ribbon, and you actually saw that the ribbon is composed of several tabs, and some features of the ribbon. We have the ribbon tabs, where we have tabs such as the home, we have the insert tab, we have the page layout tab, the formulas tab, there's the data, uh, review tab, there's the view tab, where we could actually see the various views of Excel spreadsheets. There's the Power Pivot tab, and also as part of the tabs are actually just used to group similar commands together. So like in this case, the home tab is selected, and the home tab has the clipboard, there's the font, there's the alignment, there's the number, there's the styles tab, and so the tabs are used to group similar commands together. Like for the home tab is used for basic commands such as formatting the data to make it more presentable. There's also the sorting. There's also, if you want to find specific data within your spreadsheet, you can actually do all that from the home tab. So these are the various tabs that we actually can see. So for the home tab, we can use formatting features like the format painter, is the clipboard. We can edit our text if you want to decrease our font size, if you want to use various theme colors for our text, if you want to paint your cells, like for this case, my cell C9 is now painted yellow. We can do all that. Let me undo from my quick access bar. You can also align your text. You can do all this kind of formatting on your text. You can center it. You can left align it, right align. You can use all these number formatting features from your home tab. There's the page layout, there's the insert, there's the formulas tab, there's the data tab, and we are going to use many of these tabs in our future lectures. So the tabs are just simply used to group similar commands together, as we've actually seen. Then another feature of our ribbon is the ribbon bar, and for in this case the ribbon bars are different also, and they also contain similar commands, like for the font, what font type do you want, like are we going to use Calibri? There are several types of fonts in Excel. So when it comes to the font ribbon bar, we can actually choose what kind of font we want to use for our document. What is the font size that we want? So these are commands related to font, so they are grouped together. Commands related to an alignment, they are grouped together. So for example, for our alignment ribbon, it's used to group all the commands that are used to align data together. And as we've seen also the font, if you want to increase our font size, if you want to create a border around our font, if you want to underline our font, all these, if you want to italicize them, if you want to bolden your font. So all the commands related to your font are in the ribbon bar called font. We are also going to use our ribbon bars often. And also, as part of the ribbon is the quick access toolbar, which we've spoken about in our previous slide. So we actually see that the quick access toolbar is used to access commands that you frequently use, that you want to quickly access for your document, for your worksheet. So you can use it to create, if you create new documents often, you can have a button for that in your quick access toolbar. If you save documents frequently, if you print frequently, whatever uh, tab or whatever command you want to use, uh, and you want to find them easily to increase time and also increase your efficiency, you can place them on the quick access toolbar. And for the ribbon tabs, they are used to group similar commands together. Same case with the ribbon bar, where we've seen like our font ribbon bar. It contains all the commands related to your font, such as your font size, your font type, and all that kind of thing. So the ribbon also can be customized. Add uh, you can actually add in ribbon tabs, and the navigation for customizing our ribbon is by simply going to file options and customizing the ribbon. Why would customizing the ribbon become important? Let's say you do not wish to see some of the tabs on the ribbon, or you'd like to add some tabs that are missing, such as the developer tab. We're going to add the developer tab in our next lecture, in our future lecture. So we are actually going to see how we can actually add tabs. And if you want to add tabs, or if you want to remove some tabs, then you can actually uh, be able to customize your ribbon according to your taste and how you want to access your worksheet. So you will go to the file menu, then you'll click on options, then customize the ribbon. So we can actually demonstrate that. So you go to file, your file tab, this one. So you go to file menu, then you will navigate down to options. Then from options, there is the customize. Along the tabs on the Excel options, there is a customize ribbon. So you select on your ribbon, and actually you can see the main tabs that I already have in my document. There is the home tab here, as you can see on the top of my screen. There is the insert tab, and you can actually collapse it and see what ribbon bars are there on your tabs. So there's the home tab, there's the insert tab, there's the page layout, there's the formulas tab, there's the data tab, there's the review. You can actually confirm them up here on my ribbon. There's the developer, and there are also add-ins. There's the office remote. Uh, there's the office remote tab here. You can actually see that. Let's say I don't want my office remote, and so this is an add-in, so I cannot be able to remove it. Maybe I'll show you how to do that. So like if you want to add in any of this, if you want to add in a tab, then you can actually come and add your you can actually come and add in your tab. So your file tabs, you come to this drop down. So you choose commands from here. So you will choose a file tab that you want. So you can select any, if it's opening, if it's to protect your workbook, then you can add it. And it's giving me an error. An error message. Let me see if I can add any of these. Okay, it's telling me commands need to be added to custom groups. To create a group, pick a tab in the list, then click new group. Yeah, so I I I will do this. Let me show you. Yeah, so I click on the I've navigated to my customize ribbon tab. Then you can select the custom ribbon that you want from the left hand side panel. This one you can see it down. This is the left hand side panel as it's shown here. Then you go to your new group. So you want to create a new group. This is a custom group that you want to add. So depending on where you want to add it from, you can rename it. So let's say I want to name it as Frank. So I can do that. Then I will be able to add that my email to the Frank tab that I've added there as part of the Power Pivot main tab. Then if I click OK and I come to my Office remote, I should be able to see my so sorry, it's in the Power Pivot tab, sorry. So when I come to Power Pivot, I can actually be able to see for my Frank ribbon bar, actually have email as an option, and you can follow that. So that is how to customize your ribbon. So you come to the file menu, then you navigate down to options. Then from options, Excel options, you will go to customize ribbon. Then depending on where you want to add your command, delete cells. Let's say you want to delete cells, you just go create new group, or you might want to create a new tab. So if you create your new tab, you will rename it according to how you want your tab name to be. Let's say we want it to be the delete tab. So we want to have a delete tab. So you will press OK. Then under your delete tab, you will add. You will be able to add your. Okay, I will be able to add my delete tab to this custom new group. So I might call it delete. Sorry, I might call it delete as a group. Then when I press OK, you actually see that I have a new ribbon tab here called delete. And when I come to delete, there's a delete group here, and it has the options to delete cells. So that's how you actually customize your ribbon. So you can try also create tabs for various, if you want to group commands that you use frequently, you can group them in a tab, in a ribbon tab, and then you add in all the commands that you want to be there, and you can also group the commands as you want them to appear in your groups. So that is how to customize the ribbon. So now we look at some of the major concepts of Excel workbooks. And we've spoken about worksheets, Excel worksheets, and we've seen that worksheets are just a collection of rows and columns. And when a row and a column intersect, they actually form a cell. So cells are used to store data. And each cell is uniquely identified using a cell address. So we've actually seen our cell address. For our demonstration, we saw our cell was a C9. It can change according to the cell that you've selected. So in this case, our column is column D, and our row is row 5. So our cell reference will be D5. So that is how we do our cell referencing. Then the cells are used to store data. This is actually where you enter your actual data. So in the cells, you enter your data. The Excel worksheet will prompt you to enter data from the status bar. It will be telling you that the cell is ready to receive data, and each cell is uniquely identified using a cell address. So the columns are labeled with letters, while rows are labeled with the numbers as we actually saw. And then the workbook also has a name box which displays the cell that is currently selected in the worksheet. And to demonstrate that with our cell D5, we actually see that when you enter D5, your name box here at the left-hand side of the screen, this upper left-hand side, we actually see that the cell address that is selected here is cell D5. So this is the cell D5, and then the name box here. The name box shows you the actual cell. It displays the cell that is currently selected in the worksheet, and you can use it to actually define a specific name for selected cell as well. So we could actually rename our cell. Instead of calling it D5, we might call it, maybe, let's say, our cell. We might decide to rename our cell from the name box. So these are some of the features of we'll see how to rename our cells from the name box. So instead of calling it D5, we could give it an alternative name. Then the other feature of the Excel worksheet is the formula bar. And for the formula bar, it's a toolbar that you can use to actually enter or copy an existing formula. So from the formula bar, you enter or you copy an existing formula into cells or even to charts. So it is labeled with a function symbol. So you can actually see in our Excel worksheet that it's labeled, part of the formula bar is labeled with the letter FX. If you can be keen to note the letter FX on our formula bar. And by clicking the formula bar, or when you type the equal sign, you will be able to enter a formula, a user-defined formula, or a system-defined formula into your cell. So all our formulas will begin with the equal sign, and it actually, when you enter the equal sign, it actually activates the formula bar. So the cell actually knows that Excel knows that we are entering a formula, and it's not a text, it's not a number, but we have actually activated a formula or a function. And the FX function, which is the insert function, can actually be used to insert various functions. So when you click on it, it opens up this window, the insert function window, where you can actually choose a list of functions that you want to use. And once you look for a function and use it, it will be displayed. It will be displayed as a list of your recently used functions. So you can actually type. Let's say you are looking for the sum function. You can type your sum function here, and then when you press go, it brings you all the functions that are related, the recommended functions. So you can select if it's your sum if function or if it's your sum function. You can actually select it there. So that is the formula bar. It gives you all those options. Then the workbook now. This is what we are showing here is just a worksheet. This is a worksheet, but we can actually see from the worksheet tab down here that we actually have several worksheets. We have the 2013, we have the 2014, we have the 2015, we have the summary worksheet, we have the employee records worksheet, and all these worksheets, they form a workbook. When you combine them together, then they form a workbook. So a workbook is a collection of similar or related worksheets. So that's basically the concept of the worksheet. So we actually see the alphabetic letters that are assigned to columns and the numbers assigned to our rows, and these form the cells. Like in this slide, the active cell is cell B2, and the name bar, actually the name box, displays that the cell address that is active is the cell B2, as you can see. So that is the name box. Then the formula bar, which also has the insert function, which is represented by the fx. So the active cell will be displayed in the name box, and the formula bar, we've said that it's activated by typing an equal sign. And we could also add or rename Excel worksheets. We've said that worksheets contain workbooks contain related worksheets. So let's say you've entered your income. Now you want to calculate your expenditure. So one sheet can have your income for the whole year or for the whole month, while the other worksheet can have your expenditure. Or if you are computing scores for students, you could have one worksheet maybe containing the scores for math, or you could have another worksheet containing scores for another subject, maybe French or English or another, yeah, just related worksheet. So we've seen that worksheets can be divided into different subgroups, and when they intersect, they form a cell. So you can actually add and rename the Excel worksheets to come up with your complete workbook. So you can actually delete also, or you can add according to your requirements. By default, the sheets are named sheet 1, sheet 2, and so on and so forth. But then you could actually want to customize them, maybe from sheet 1 to monthly budget or something like that. So for you to rename your worksheet, you could have more meaningful names instead of having sheet 1. Somebody cannot know what is the content of sheet 1. Maybe it's the expenditure for January. You would need to rename it as expenditure for January, or budget for February, or something like that. So to give your worksheets a meaningful name, you'll need to rename it. And for you to rename it, simply uh, you simply uh, double click on your sheet, as we're going to see that, and then you rename it using a more appropriate name, as you could demonstrate. So you could add a worksheet. Let's say you want to add a worksheet. So for you to add your worksheet, you click on the plus sign. There's a plus button at the worksheet tab. So there's a plus button here. Let me use a more, yeah, so like this worksheet is a new worksheet that has no data entered in. So for my worksheet, I have sheet 1. I might want to add another new sheet. So let's say this worksheet will contain my expenses. So I want to rename it. I just double click on the name at the worksheet tab. So you double click on it. It will it will highlight the text that is there. Then I could say maybe January expenditure. That gives the worksheet a more meaningful name. Then maybe I want to have a budget for January. So I just click on the tab. So by default, we actually see that Excel renames your worksheet using this format: sheet 2, sheet 3, and when we add another one, it will be sheet 4. And you could want to rename sheet 2 maybe to, let's say, February income, maybe sheet 3 to March expenditure. So all that is how you actually rename and add in your your worksheets. So all this, then you will be able to add your data. But then again, you could actually also delete your worksheets. So before we go in to actually save in our document, our new document, after entering our data, or we could as well save without entering our data, you could also want to delete your worksheet. So how do you delete your worksheet? So you simply right click on your tab, on your worksheet tab. So like I want to do away with March expenditure. Maybe I didn't spend any money in March, so I'll just right click on it. So I right click on my worksheet tab. Then I have the option to delete. So I delete my worksheet. But when you're deleting your worksheet, be careful because if you delete your worksheet, you cannot undo. You actually see that I've deleted my March expenditure, but my undo button is grayed out. So if you, by any chance, you delete by mistake your worksheets, you cannot undo it. But if in case you delete accidentally the data, you could just close your workbook. But then when you're closing your workbook, don't save your changes, okay? So you just leave it like that, and then you reopen it again, just in case if you deleted a worksheet by mistake. So that is how to delete a worksheet. You right click on it, then you go to delete, and the tab will, the worksheet will go, but it's something that you cannot reverse, you cannot undo. So be careful when you are deleting your worksheets. So you could add as many workbooks as you like. In previous versions of Excel, you could actually add up to 255 worksheets, but currently there is no limit. It's only limited by the amount of storage space that you have on your PC. So you could have as many worksheets on a single workbook as you want. So that is all about adding and deleting our worksheets on the workbook. Then now we go to saving an Excel document. So how do you save an Excel document? If you have you could either use the save as or the save options as we've seen. So in our file tab, in our file menu, you actually saw the option for save. There's a save tab, and then there's a save as tab. So you could save, and you could also save as. But I want you to notice something interesting, that when I click on save, it's opening for me the save as tab. Why is it so? We see that save as, it allows you to save a workbook in a new location or using another file format. So we're going to a new location. Our Excel document is new. It has not been edited in any way. We've just opened a new workbook, and we need to save this to a new location. So in this case, we will use our save as button. And as we've said, that save as allows you to save your workbook in a new location, or you could use another file format. Like for earlier versions of Excel, you could use the XLS as your file extension. You could also save it as a text file, which is a file extension .txt. You could save as a PDF with a file extension of .pdf or XPS file, or whichever file type that you want to save it. So save as is used to save your workbook for the first time in a new location, or if you want to save your file in another file format, or using a new file name in a new location, you could use a save as option for your workbook. So it allows you to save documents in a different location or with a different file format. Then the save, it's used to save an existing workbook in the current location. So you don't change your document location. You save the existing workbook in your current location. That's when you use the save option. And we could actually see that here, that once we navigate, so for the save as, you go to a new location. I could choose to save this workbook in my computer. So I could go to computer, then I could go to desktop, and I could decide to save my workbook as, let's say, team budget. Okay, team budget, and I could choose what file type I want. This is the save as option, and you can actually see it on the topmost corner of my screen. That is the save as window. So I could actually choose what file type I want to use. So for my case, I'll save my team budget as Excel workbook. So I go to desktop, then I will save it. And then now for my subsequent, let's say I make changes to this. I say that, okay, this will be, let's say, item, then amount, then maybe I could say school fees, and then I could say maybe uniform, just as an example. Then I could decide to have how much amount am I going to spend on school fees? Maybe $100. Maybe on uniform I'll spend $20, and I could maybe make that to be a title by editing it differently from the rest. Then now in this case, I need to still save this worksheet in the current location where my workbook is located. So I'll use the save. I'll use the save button, and I could as well use a shortcut, which is Control S. We're going to look at the shortcuts at the end of this lesson. So that is how to use our save as and the save. So you navigate to file menu, then you go to save as, then you go to computer, then you browse your file where you want to save your file, and you will be able to save it using the file format that you prefer. And save settings, that is the at the options tab, you could actually at the options tab, let's see this. At the options tab is the save settings. You could actually define how the default file format that you want. So you could actually say that for all the workbooks that I'm going to create using my Excel in this machine or this PC, I'm going to save all my file formats as .xls, or using a more, let's say, the previous versions of Excel file extensions like .xls. So you could actually define how you're going to how you want to save your files. When you want to save your files, you can also enable auto recovery. Sometimes you work on a document and you make so many changes and you fail to save some of your changes. What happens in the case of power loss, or if your machine decides to misbehave? What happens to your file? Will you lose everything that you actually have been working on? Maybe you've been working on it for hours. So you could actually set a file auto recovery file location. So if in case your work is lost, you could actually go to the auto saved versions at this location. So you could actually customize your auto recovery location. Uh, in case your machine goes off, your computer goes off before you save your work. You can also use this option from the options dialog window under the save tab from the left hand side panel. So all these save options are actually defined in this save Excel options tab. So that is it with saving our documents. Then we could also want to open an existing Excel document, and from the start, actually showed us the navigation for opening an existing Excel documents. this is done at the open tab. We said that the open tab can be used to open worksheets or workbooks that are already existing on our machine or our PC. So you go to the file menu, then to the open tab, then you can browse the file location as we shall see. So let's go to our document. So we could actually want to open an existing file. So you go to open. It shows you the recent workbooks that you've actually opened, the ones that you've used. Or you could actually go to computer and browse. Maybe your workbook is in desktop, you can go look for it. Budget, team budget.xls. Then you will be able to open your document from the location. So you could actually be able to browse your document. Where is it? Is it you want to open automate formulas? You click on the document, then you click open. Okay, it opens up your document. So that is how to open an existing file. Or you could as well go the recently opened workbooks. You can check for a workbook that you opened recently and be able to open it from the open tab. So that is how to open a new workbook. Then finally, as we finish this lesson, we're going to look at the navigations or the shortcuts that you can actually use to personalize your experience on Excel. So this list of shortcuts we can use them to increase our efficiency, to quickly access commands that we want to use that would make our work and our navigation using our experience using Excel much more easy and much more fast. So some of the shortcuts that we've listed there's the Control P, which you can use to open the print dialog window. So when you press Control P, it will open the print dialog window. Let's say for our open document, we want to print this document. So when you press Control and P simultaneously, it opens the print preview window, and you can actually see our document. You can choose whether you want to print on one side. You can choose your orientation and all those options with printing. Then there's the Control N, which creates a new workbook. So let's see what happens with Control N. So Control N, place them together. We have a new workbook altogether. So with our sheet number is sheet 1. So that is Control N. That's another of the shortcuts. Another one is the Control S. We used that to save our workbook. There's Control C, which copies the contents of something that you currently select. You could actually see that. So let's say I want to copy this two rows of cells, and I just press Control C, and you'll actually see the border around my text that I want to copy. And then you move your cursor to the point where you want to paste your data, and you just press Control V, and it will. Control V is one of the other shortcuts. So you paste data from the clipboard using Control V. Another one is Control X. Control X cuts your content. The difference between cutting and copying is that copying duplicates your data, but cutting changes the location. It relocates your data. So let's say I want to relocate this range of cells. I'll press my Control X. Then I want to paste them here. Control V. All my data has moved to a new location. So Control X the control X is used to cut data, so it changes the location of the data, while control C, which is the copy, it duplicates your data. So, and then another shortcut that we could use is control Z. Control Z or control Z is used to undo whatever you have worked on. Like if we want to restore our worksheet the way it was, we just press Control Z, and all that goes back to how it was. Okay, yeah. So that is Control Z. So it undoes what you did. Then the other shortcuts like Control B, which boldens your text. Control U underlines your selected data. Control H, it returns you to your home tab. So let's say like we are in view, Alt H returns us to the home tab, okay? Or maybe we are in formulas bar, Alt H returns us to the home bar. So that is it with our shortcuts. And Control O, it opens for you the open dialog box in order for you to choose a workbook that you want to open. So it allows you to browse your computer. So if I want to open an existing workbook, instead of going to File tab, I could go to File tab and browse from my computer. But again, I could use a shortcut. I could use Control O. It brings me already to, instead of going navigating all the way to the file menu and going down to open, it brings me directly here by one click. That's just one press. So it's Control O and it goes to the open tab. So those are some of the shortcuts. And Bob, unless you have anything to say, I think we can end there for today.
All right, Frank, thank you so much.
Okay, thank you. Welcome.
Okay, bye-bye.